Hi amateur chefs, welcome or welcome back to my channel Amateurish. Today we're going to be making the Haitian styled fried snapper. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Let's get started. All right, guys, the ingredients are going to be in the description box below. The first thing we're going to do is take the snapper fillets. Now, Haitians generally use the whole fish, but I didn't have time to do that. So I'm making sure that it was clean and descaled, and now I'm patting it dry as much as I can just to remove the excess water. Once I patted it dry, I'm going to add this Haitian green seasoning on it. Now, I did not measure. I would say it's about 2 to 3 tablespoons of Haitian seasoning in there. And I'm just going to make sure it is nicely rubbed and incorporated into the fish. If you haven't already, please check out my Haitian Epis or green seasoning video. It's one of the first videos I put up. I will be updating the recipe, but just wanted to give you guys the basics of how to make the Haitian Epis, and you really want to just make sure that is getting incorporated into the fish. All right, so now I'm going to use some Adobe Organic complete seasoning. Now, this is completely optional. I know a lot of Haitians don't use powdered type of seasoning. It's just in the epis, but I like to intensify the taste a little bit more. So I am going to be adding my seasonings. I'm adding some black pepper. Again, this is my twist on this, and a little bit of Old Bay because I do enjoy a nice Louisiana twist to my fish, and since it is a fillet, I really want the ingredients to get into the fish. So we're just gonna add a little bit of that because the Haitian Epis does have bouillon cubes, so you don't want to add too much seasoning that has salt, and just a little bit of smoked pepper, and we will smoke paprika, and then we'll add some garlic powder, onion powder, and we are going to just make sure to rub everything in so it's nicely incorporated evenly throughout the fillets. If you know me, you know that I like a little bit of heat. So even though the Epis did have some habanero peppers, I am going to add some red pepper flakes just to add a little bit more of a punch to it or a kick. You want to make sure that your fish has a good acidity level. So I'm going to add some additional lime to it. Now, that's just half a lime that I'm adding to this, and you know, Haitians all about the acid, so definitely want to make sure you incorporate this. Now, once you've done this, you're gonna want to marinate the fish. I did let it marinate overnight. If you're in a rush, I would say at least a minimum number is an hour, just to make sure everything is nicely soaked into the fish. As you can see, I'm making sure I'm pulling all those juices onto the fillet to make sure that it has as much of the seasoning as possible. Okay, so it marinated overnight, and now I'm going to fry the fish. So I am going to pat the fish down, well, dry a little bit, but wanted you guys just to see what the seasoning looked like. And I'm just making sure I'm incorporating the seasoning into there before I patted it dry. So you don't want to remove the seasoning. So this is literally a light tap, very light tap. But since we're going to fry it, you don't want it to be super wet. I'm going to turn it over, and even on the end of the skin. I don't eat the skin. I generally rip that off, but just for this, I'm going to pat it down. And then next up, you're just going to add this into flour. I cut that fillet into 2 pieces, and then I added it to the flour. This is about a cup of flour. You don't need too much. And then you're just going to flip it around, making sure that the fish is nicely incorporated while the oil is getting super hot. You want to make sure that you are dipping this into really hot oil. Now that the oil is super hot, I added this into it. Sorry, guys, you missed it. The oil was so hot, I couldn't control recording and putting the fish into it. But yeah, basically, you're just going to let it get a crispy brown on the side, and then you're going to flip it over to make sure the fish has enough color. So we're just gonna let it sit for about 10-15 minutes on both sides to see if it gets the color that we want, and then we'll flip it over again, making sure that it's not overcooking or it does not burn. So again, I'm going to flip it just to kind of check, and that is the crispy color that I want. So I flipped it over to the skin side for an additional 2 minutes just so the skin can get a little bit more color. All right, guys, so now we're just going to remove it from the oil, and we're going to put it to a plate with some paper towels just to drain some of that oil. But that is basically it. I made a little sauce on the side with some pickles and plantains, threw a green in there. But guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching Immatures. Make sure to subscribe and like this video. Bye, guys.